Hi, I'm Chris, also known as That French Bloke, and in this video we are going to talk about the Nikon F4, my favorite Nikon film SLR. In this video, which is not exactly a review, we are going to go through everything you might need to know if you own one, if you're thinking about buying one, or if you want to make some money selling one. Actually, at the end of the video, I will give you a tip on how you can make good money with those cameras, especially if they are broken. So watch until the end. In this video, we are going to review everything that you need to know if you own one of those cameras or you are thinking about owning one. We are going to go through all its command, all its functionality, and this is quite a complex beast, so it will take some time. Be ready for that. I will, however, down below put an index with the main part, because we are going to see a presentation of the camera. We are going to then take it apart, see the different components and put it back together. And then we are going to see how to load the camera with film and batteries. We are going to then see all the functionality of the camera, and this camera is quite a complex beast. It's a professional camera. There is a lot of things that you can do with this camera. This is why it's important to know how to do them. There's lots of little things that are hidden everywhere that you may not know about, that are not that obvious when you first handle the camera. So we will go through every single one of those things together. And in the end, I will, as promised, tell you how to make money if you're interested in reselling cameras, how you can make money with Nikon F4, even, and I would even say especially, the broken ones. Let's start first with a presentation. As the single digit implies, the Nikon F4 was the top of the range for Nikon professional cameras. It was released in 1998 and discontinued in 1995, not 65. And during all its life, it was in competition with its predecessor, the Nikon F3. Nikon F, there's no Nikon F1, it was the Nikon F, was the grandfather of the Nikon SLR range, the first one to introduce the Nikon F mount. Nikon F2 was building on that and adding some more refinement. Nikon F3 was a bit more modern, but it was still a granddad's camera. Nikon F4 is a big step forward. Nikon F4 is the first proper professional camera with autofocus. And why I say proper, it's because they were a Nikon 3AF. I've done a video about this type of Nikon autofocus camera in the past. And to be honest, it was not the best system. They redesigned everything for the Nikon F4, and that is welcome. So not only the Nikon F4 added the autofocus to the Nikon F3, but it's also the first camera, the first Nikon camera that's in this range to be computerized. Okay. However, in terms of interface, it keeps all the good old way to do it. I mean, no screen, no menu, just knob that you have to press or turn. Then there is a Nikon F5 and F6, which are more like the computerized type, with screen, with... You even have the possibility to get the EXIF data on the F6. To me, what I really like about this Nikon F4 is that it is a perfect balance between the two worlds. You have the look and feel of the old days, where everything is there. You just have to press on it if you want to use it. You don't waste your time. Very convenient, very user-friendly, and also have this old feeling. You also have access to all the modern refinement, which are proper light metering. You have autofocus. Everything that you expect from a modern camera is there too. In terms of lens compatibility, it's also benefiting from sitting at this edge between two worlds. You can use the oldest Nikon F camera on this camera. The coupling that you need for the AI lens you can push it away on this one and use non-AI lens. The second thing as well that is great is, as I say, you can use autofocus lens. You can use autofocus lens of the screwdriver type, but you can use AF-S lens as well. You can also use the G lenses. G lenses do not have an aperture ring. They are made for camera like the 5 or like most digital camera, well, like any digital camera, where you can set the aperture. You will only be able to use them either at maximum aperture or if you use an automatic mode, a mode that lets the camera set the aperture itself. If you are using a speed priority mode, then the camera is still able to choose the aperture. It's just you are not able to choose it manually. The only thing that is lacking with modern lenses is the VR lens. VR lens can be used on the S4, but there will be no vibration reduction on those lenses as the camera do not handle them. And obviously, the recent AFP lenses, which have an electronic aperture inside them, will not work properly on the F4. But apart from those rare exceptions, every lens can be used on the Nikon F4. Let's have a look at the beast and take it apart. Here is the camera. On it I have a 35-30mm 2.8, which is a lens that was often used with this camera. It's a very good lens as well. I'll do a video one day on this lens. And to remove the lens, like on any Nikon camera, you have to press this release and then turn the lens in that way. And once it's done, you can remove the lens. The Nikon F4 come in 3 different flavors. You've got the Nikon F4, F4S and F4E. This one is an F4S. You'll notice that it's marked F4 and not F4S. You will never find a Nikon F4 that's marked F4S or F4E. And the reason being that the only difference between the F4S and the F4E is the grip. Okay, so let's have a look at that grip. This grip is the MB21, which is the most common grip for that camera. It has a vertical shutter release here and also a lock ring around here to stop firing the camera when you don't want to. To remove, you see it does happen. To remove the grip, what you need to do is 2 things. There is 2 parts of the grip. There is the handle that's on the side, and there is the bottom part. To remove the handle, it's quite simple. You move this little lock up, you turn it, and then you can slide it. And here is the first part of the grip. Then you have here more batteries that are sticking out. You can just pull them if you want. That are the rest of the battery. With this grip, you need 6 batteries. And if you want to remove this part of the grip that usually stay for forever, what you need to do is just use this knob to unscrew it. You see, it's basically there's a mechanism that makes that screw turn with that knob and that let you screw it in the rest of the body. And what you have here look pretty much like a camera, doesn't it? Well, this is because a standard F4 is just that. You just have like a grip that is smaller, that goes here, the handle, that contains only 4 batteries, and that is a Nikon F4. Add the grip and it becomes a Nikon F4S or F4E. Other part that you can change, because there are several obviously, is the prism. Here is the most common prism you'll find, DP20. There are some connector here. It's because the metering is done in the prism. As in most professional camera, you can change the focusing screen as well. And on this camera, I think it's the easiest I've ever seen. You don't need any tool. You just put your nail under this little thingy here, and the screen comes, and you'll see that it is enclosed in a plastic surrounding, which means that you can handle it with your hands. You don't need anything else. I'm not going to go through the list of focusing screens that exist. There are at least 10 of them, I think. So you will find a focusing screen for any type of use that you have. And last, the back door. You can, to open the back door, it's the same as on many other Nikon camera. You've got this little arrow that you need to push. Then you can lift the rewind button, and if you lift it up and off, the back door open. And to remove the back door, you have this little prong here that you need to press, and you can remove the back door. So here you have your Nikon F4 in a kit, basically, all the part. Several back door exists. This is once again the most standard. There is a data back door that exists that add some functionality to the camera, like for example automatic bracketing. There is one back that does only the date, and also there you can find a back for 250 views, a big film holder for 250 views. Let's see how to load the battery on this thing. Remember, we've seen how to remove the wall handle, but to change the battery you only need to remove that part, and you do this by turning this little lever, and then you can slide the battery. Okay, 3 battery here, 3 more battery there, and you just have to pull them and replacing, making sure that you follow the polarity. If you are buying a camera, whether it's online or a swap meet or things like that, make sure that this insert MS21 is included in the sale, as without it, it will not work. 6 batteries are needed. If you have a Nikon F4 that uses a smaller battery pack, the MB21, you need only 4 batteries. This means that the maximum speed of the camera is limited. With this type of grip, the camera can take up to 5.7 pictures a second. With a smaller grip, I think it's 3.3, the limit. That is the only difference between the 4 and the 4S. Note that you have a little button here that lets you check your batteries. 2 lights are good batteries. 1 is you should think about replacing your batteries, and obviously if nothing lit up, your batteries are dead. Note that if you are using batteries that can be rechargeable, if you are using nickel cadmium batteries, only 1 of them will lit up even if they are totally full. The camera can be used with a rechargeable battery. You have a little switch here that you need to set in on the up position if you are using nickel cadmium battery, and that you have to put lower if you are using standard battery like I do. Loading the film. So loading the film, as mentioned before, you open the door by pushing this lever as a arrow thing, and then pull on this one. Once it's open, you can put your film in. Notice that you have the X sensor here if you want to use them, and then you pull your film up to here, making sure it doesn't want to go, making sure that it goes well, the little hole on those little teeth, and then you can close the door, and then it should be okay. Why does it do anything? Ah yeah, you need to, okay. See, then you press on the shutter once and it advances to the first picture. Now let's see what are all those button 4. As you can see, there is quite a few of them. There's a lot of functionality, and you don't have a screen with menu, so you need to have at least one button per functionality. Let's go from this side here. You've got the ISO setting. Here you have the release button for the ISO setting, so you can press it and you can select your ISO, or you can also use the DX coding from your canister. Then here you have your speed setting. It goes from 4 seconds up to 8 thousandths of a second, which is very fast. 250 is in red. That is the maximum speed for the flash synchronization. If you are in X mode here, you will stay within the flash synchronization. T mode is for long exposure. You press once on the shutter release, it opens the shutter, then you come back, you press another time on it, and it closed it. B is the shutter stay open for as long as you are pressing the release. Okay. In some mode, like the X, this knob will lock. You unlock it by pressing on the button that is in the middle, and then you can turn it. Here you've got exposure compensation. You need to press that little button to be able to turn it, and you can go from -2 to +2 EV, and you go in third of EV step. Then you have your mode selector. M is fully manual. A, you select your aperture and the camera will select the speed. S, the other way around. You select the speed, the camera will select the aperture. P, it's program. The camera will select the speed and aperture depending on the condition. And PH, it's the same as P, but the H stands for high speed. That means that the camera will favor a higher speed than in P mode. In P mode, it seems to be, it takes like a happy medium. In PH, it will be more for like sport mode. Think about it, about sport mode, where you know that the action is fast and you need a higher speed than it would have normally selected. Then here you have a selector to choose the speed at which you want to take the picture. In lock mode, the camera will not work. S, single. CH, continuous high speed. CL, continuous low speed. CS, it's even slower speed. And this one I will not demonstrate it. It's the timer, self-timer. Okay, actually, yeah, let's demonstrate it. You have here a LED indication of the timer mode, and I think, yeah, it goes faster before taking the picture. Yeah, nice pictures. You also have those two buttons marked R1 and R2, and those one are used to rewind the film at mid-film. What you want to do is you unlock the lever using R1 and you pull it, and the same with R2. Okay, and rewind it. Those levers will go back into a normal position once you take another picture anyway, which is once you reload the film. You note as well that if you want to save your battery, for example, or if you want to rewind the film mid-film, but you still you don't want to rewind it totally, you do have here the ability to rewind it manually, like on good old camera. The last thing that I missed on the top plate is here, this little lever. It's for multiple exposure. So what you do, you pull the lever, you take a picture, the film doesn't advance, the lever go back into position, and then you can take another picture on the same image, and this time the film will advance. Note that every time you take a picture, the lever go back into normal position. So if you want to do more than 2 exposures on the same frame, you need to pull it again. What do we have in the front of the camera now? We've seen this lens release button before. Next to it, like often on Nikon camera, you have the focusing mode. Continuous, single, picture or manual focusing. On the other side, you have here those two buttons that are for autofocus lock and exposure lock. If you lock the exposure and move that little lever towards the bottom of the camera, towards that red dot, what it does is that the autofocus will be locked for as long as this lever is down, so the camera will not refocus. You can keep the same focus for several views should you want to. Here you have the depth of field preview that will close your diaphragm for you so that you can see the picture as the camera will see it when you are going to take it. And this lever is, it doesn't want to go, and this one is quite hard. It's to lock up your mirror up. Okay. If you want to see, and for some lens that protrude inside, will need you to have this functionality. You notice here that there is a connection for external flash, and here you have an external connector that haven't been used for years in this camera. Okay, does it want to come more? I think it's been pushed first on that one. Okay, here it is. And what you have here is a connection for an electronic remote. There are actually some accessories that you can put here as well that will let you put a standard soft remote and have one more release button, but you can also put some electric remote with a single button, or there were also a proper remote control via radio that could be used for that. What you have here also, it's a release connector for an old-fashioned trigger. Now let's have a look at the prism. First thing to notice is that here you've got a little lever, and that will close a curtain that is used when you are doing long exposure, so that no light enter the camera that way. And to remove the prism, you have to press this lever towards the prism, and then you can push it back, slide it back, and here you see, so you see all the connectors, and you see as well here you see little windows, and those little windows match with those screen, and there is one that matches with that hole. So this little window will show you, like a Nikon FM for example, it will let you sorry, I'm doing it wrong. Okay, it will let you read the aperture through here, and the other one will show you various information. So here you've got a few LEDs, and here you have a little LCD screen. I don't know if you see it well. Among the issue you may find is that quite often this LCD screen will leak. You'll see that it will be partially black. For this one is perfect. It's not the case. It's not uncommon for them to leak. In all fairness, when the camera was released, Nikon said that this screen should be replaced every 3 years. And the metering is done in the prism, as I said. So you will find on the side various settings. You can choose between spot metering, center weighted metering, or one mode of metering with 5 zones. That are the only metering modes that are available here. This is for people like me that can't see properly. It's to change to the dioptry. You know, if you want to see without your glasses, you can set it properly there. Here's a little window that lets the light goes inside the prism. It's because there is also a little LCD screen in the prism that needs some light, because all those LCD screens, they are not backlit, or at least not always backlit. There is a level here that will switch the light on. You see, now there is a little light here. If you are in a dark situation, you can turn the light on and off there, and it will turn the light on the screen that is inside the prism as well. Here you have another little window with an indication, and usually it's on 0, most of the time it's on 0, but this is to compensate the exposure in case your focusing screen mess up the exposure. So with a B screen like the one that is in it at the moment, which is the standard screen, it has to be on 0, but you can take a little screwdriver and change it here. You can go to minus half an EV or plus half, plus 1, 1.5, and up to 2. And obviously the last thing that is on the prism is the hot shoe, which let you do TTL exposure as you would expect from what is kind of a modern camera. So as you saw, the Nikon F4 is quite a complicated beast. You can do everything you want to do with this camera. You just need to know how to do it. Not everything is obvious when you look at the body of the camera. So that's why I wanted to do this video. I'll be honest with you, don't expect me to be unbiased about this camera. I love it. To me, it's a perfect balance between modern and old school. You have a camera that holds well in hand, that oozes of quality. It's a bit on the heavy side. If you drop it on your foot, I think your foot will have more damage than the camera itself. No, it's a fantastic camera. I like the use of it, the fact that everything can be used so easily. Everything is there ready to use, but everything is there too. Autofocus, complex metering system, everything is there. So that's why I really love this camera. It's one of my favorite one in the Nikon film range. And now, as I promised, I'm going to tell you how you can make money with this camera, or by reselling this camera, buying and selling it, especially if it doesn't work. Why is that? You've seen this camera comes with lots of parts. It's a very strong camera. You've seen that the one I have here is not in the best condition. That is typical for those cameras. They were very expensive. In 1998 they were more than 2,000 euros. 2,000, they were no euros at the time, that's how old it is. But more than $2,000 if you want to speak in dollars. So at the time it's like 3.5 grand of today's money. It was really expensive, and it was mainly for professional. However, they tend to be used heavily and for years and years and years because they are very reliable as well. Their shutter is rated for 150,000 pictures, which on a film camera it's a lot. However, they do fail sometimes. I've seen quite a few for sale with shutters that didn't work. I suspect sometimes people have put their fingers in the shutter as well to help it not to work. However, if you go on eBay, you will find cameras that for sale for spare or repair because the shutter, for example, is not working, or that are heavily discounted because the screen is leaking badly, or any other reason. Okay, and those cameras, you can sometimes get them for as little as $50, which is cheap, 50 euros as well. At the moment, it's parity, it makes things easier. That's the camera I advise you to buy. But if the camera is worth 50 euros, and it's broken, how am I going to make money? How are you going to make money with it? Well, it's simple. Simple because it's modular. This, you can easily, if it's in good condition, you can easily sell it for 75 euros or dollars. The grip, the same thing. The grip can be sold for over $100. Okay, complete like that in a working condition, you're talking 100, 110. And even things like the focusing screen, 20 euros. The backdoor, if you want, you can sell it for 20 euros too. And if you're left with the body like this, that doesn't work, there are still people that will be happy to buy it because they want to change some button, or their camera have some cosmetic issue and they want to take some parts from it. So that will sell for 40 euros and sometimes even 50. That's how you make money. You buy something that's broken and you are selling things like that that are not broken, or like this. There is a market for that. I'll be honest with you, backdoor, very long tail. The focusing screen tend to be long tail as well. So sometimes if I have already a backdoor in stock, I will sell it with the body, or I will sell this with the body as well. It can help the sale. If I don't have any in stock, it doesn't take much room, and you're talking 40 euros here. 40 euros just for that. So yeah, it's how you can make money with a Nikon F4, a little trick. That's it for today. I'm sorry, I think this video has been a bit long, but there is lots of things to say about this wonderful camera. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video, comment below, subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss the next one. See you next time, and in the meantime, take nice pictures and make money with your camera.